used to think that we lived in a meritocracy. Rise to the level of your competence. Basically what a meritocracy is, if you don't know, is just that. So if you ask the AI, it will give you the definition as meritocracy is a social, political, or economic system where power, rewards, and positions are assigned based on individual ability, effort, and achievement rather than things like social class, wealth, or family connections. Prioritizing competence, things like intelligence, hard work, and skills over things like nepotism or inheritance. So this being said, theoretically the most qualified people should have the most prestigious positions. This is a belief that I had for a very long time until it's like a week ago or a couple weeks ago when I was thinking about it. I was like, this does not really make sense. I mean, just think about it for a second. In so many different sectors when it comes to Ivy League schools, for the smartest people and the hardest working people, why are they not always the most successful, most wealthy, or the best athletes in university? Why don't they become the best professional players? And the reality is there's more to the system than just how good you are at something and rising on your own merit, right? And this realization came along with the sobering fact that life is not fair. Genuinely, the foundation of it is not fair. Certain people have more advantages than other people, and this has always been the case, right? So inherently, it's not fair. If you're born with 2 legs, 2 hands, and a functioning body, compared to someone who doesn't have that, that's inherently not fair to that person, right? But just as it's not fair to this person, just because you're the hardest worker or you're the smartest person and you're doing everything right doesn't guarantee it's going to work out for you. That is the sobering realization that I came to. Now, there are 2 ways to take this, right? There's always a flip side of the coin. There's the one doomer mindset, like black pill. Well, if things aren't fair, there's nothing I can do about it, so it doesn't matter, which obviously is not a good mentality either. Then there's the flip side. It's okay, it's not fair. Where do I go from here? What are my next moves, right? What can I do about this? So it's very easy to get caught in the trap of nihilism, where just nothing matters. Doesn't matter if I do this, doesn't matter if I do that, because it's not fair. And just falling into a victim mindset, feeling sorry for yourself. And don't get me wrong, we've all been there at some point. This is part of the process, but it's important to make sure you don't stay there and you are able to change your mentality towards this to seeing it as more of a spectrum. Just like I was talking about in my last videos about percentiles, doing the right things, being the smartest person, being the most in shape, the best looking, all these things that society values, the richest, the most famous, all these things do not guarantee that it's going to work out for you. Because any of this can be taken at any moment. From freak accident, one bad investment, XYZ, the list goes on. With this being said, the point of this video is not to make you think, well, if it's not fair, it doesn't matter how hard I work or how well I do, I'm not going to be rewarded for it. That's not entirely true either, because it's like stacking the chips in your favor. You're increasing the percentage of it working out for you by doing the right things. There is no guarantee. It is not a binary, it will work out or it won't work out for doing any of these things. You can do all the right things for business, like reach out to as many businesses as you can, like 100, 200, 300 businesses every single day. Still might not work out for you. Do this for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Still might not work out. But you're increasing the odds, right? You're stacking them in your favor. So the longer you do this, the higher chance it will work out for you. So from listening to people a lot smarter than me, like people like Warren Buffett, Alex Hormozy, he mentioned the story about when he went to university. He had this classmate who was much smarter than him, much harder working. And if you know anything about Warren Buffett, it's ended pretty good for him. He's done pretty well. He's worth billions of dollars, has achieved everything that he wanted to, and is fulfilled with what he's built in Berkshire Hathaway. While the person he was mentioning here in this story did well for himself too, but not nearly to the same caliber. So what does this go to show? He said so himself that this person was harder working and more intelligent than him. This is the perfect example of how it is not a meritocracy. Because theoretically, if it was, this person had these things, right? It should end better for him. But there are other factors involved, like leverage, right? Warren Buffett used other people's money. He leveraged that money to make more money, and then leveraged the bigger pot to make more, right? So it ended up compounding and turned into what it is today. Obviously, this is a great oversimplification of this whole process, but you get the picture. And just how you can use the percentile method that I talked about in my previous video, how you can use this to motivate yourself and gamify, getting closer and closer to your goals, and just painting the picture in your head that you're doing good when you're making progress, even though it doesn't feel like it, because you're just comparing yourself to the rest of the population who's also doing the same thing, and you realize you're doing better than you think, right? Well, this is kind of the other side of that, the more grim representation that even though you can do all the right things, it might still not work out. But you are stacking the chips in your favor, right? You're increasing the odds, and that's all you can do. So you don't always get what you deserve, but your life is the accumulation of all the decisions you've made up until this point. All the beliefs that you have led you to become the person you are right now. If that's good or bad, well, I don't know. It depends on the decisions you've made. But the good thing is you can always make different ones going forward. I think the people with the most accurate understanding of reality are the ones who will be able to do the best, because if you understand how the game works, you can play it better. So like I said, this was a sobering reality for me. Life's not fair. It's not a meritocracy. Not everyone's playing on even footing. And all this is more or less common knowledge. It was more so the part that you can be the best at something and it might still not work out for you. The best, the most skilled don't always rise to the top. It's like Warren Buffett was saying, his friend was smarter than him, worked harder, but he ended up doing better. He was better at using the principles of leverage and human psychology and was able to predict the future rather than, these skills which are very valuable as well. But using leverage and being able to predict where things are going to go in the future is just more valuable, and he was rewarded proportionally. You could be making the best content. You could be the best athlete, be the best XYZ business in your niche. But if people don't know about you, you're not going to be the biggest. You're not going to be the most profitable. And this is what I was telling my friend when we were thinking about different businesses to start with the AI wave, all these different opportunities for SaaS and other vibe-coded products. And if you are in that realm, a little bit of a side note, but try to sell whatever you're going to build before you build it. Because too many times people will go through all the process, spend months building something. By people, I mean myself, I've done this, where you build something that you think is really cool, and then it turns out there's no product market fit. People don't actually want what you're selling. You may have made the best thing of whatever your thing is, but maybe people don't want it. And the flip side, you can make the best thing that everyone does want. Other people already have a similar version of it. There's another company doing it. Product market fit is there. You're not recreating the wheel. You're taking an idea that works and just improving it. But if no one knows about it, if you don't have those other skills of using leverage, right? Like advertising is essentially leverage. You're paying money to get people's attention, right? The more you pay, the more eyeballs you're able to see, right? You're leveraging money to get attention to your product, which is going to theoretically make you a multiplier on your money. But you can have the best product in the world. You can have the best idea in the world and be the best at what you do. But if no one knows about it, there's a high chance you're going to fail. And this is the case with so many things. But like I was saying, don't let it get you down. Focus on the inputs that you can control. And remember, each rep, each time you're doing it, you're taking action on your main thing. Even though it's not the only thing that matters, it is very important. And I would argue consistency is the main thing. If you're consistent in nothing else, there's still a high chance it's going to work out for you. Because you're just stacking the chips in your favor, just incrementally building up, and then eventually the compound effect will take over, and hopefully you get where you want to go. That being said, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And remember, take consistent action on your main thing. Don't stop. Peace.